Hey friends. Larry doing the morning thing where he gets up, doesn't take a shower or fix his hair and does video. Hi friends. How you doing? It's Saturday. Chill Saturday. Man, I'll tell you, one thing since I started this Vince Gill gig, when I'm not on the road, I've got time to do stuff. No crazy sessions. And believe me, that's about to change. I looked at my schedule coming up for the next 2 months. It's going to take a Herculean effort to get through it. Tons of gigs, and then in the holes, there's tons of sessions. And man, Lord Jesus, help me. Send out a prayer for your Uncle Larry. Turning a C9 AUG into a C69, in case you were wondering. Okay, thanks for all the sweet comments about my videos recently. Even my brother texted me, who doesn't talk to very much. Said, man, your video's been great lately. Hi, Dougie. My brother Doug's responsible for making me play guitar, or getting me into guitar. He's 13 years older than me. He was up in Cleveland. I remember down in this horrible, dank basement in my mom's house, he would sit in this back room in this nasty spider, and he would practice guitar constantly, hours and hours a day. Jazz. He was into George Benson, knew all the chords. And I would just sit and watch him sometimes, and I remember looking at his fingers from like this angle, where you can see people's fingers like dancing along the fretboard. I remember thinking, God damn, that looks so cool. I remember that feeling. Just seeing his hands moving around, I was like, God, I'd love to be able to do that. Sure enough, look at me now. So, here's the thing. When you really start to understand theory and what's happening in chords and in sort of the progressions, you can do crazy shit you've never done before. Like, for example, that silly thing I just did. I literally had never done that before in my entire life. I just thought of it until that moment you just saw. I've never done that. I knew it would work. I pictured it in my mind and I just did it. Because I knew that turning that, A flat to that A would sound cool if I bend it. And it's just like kind of like steel guitar thought. So I think that's an argument for knowing your shit. A lot of people think they can get by with not knowing theory and all that, and it's plenty of people have. I'm not good enough of a musician to get by without knowing theory. Maybe you are, but I'm not good enough. Not even close. I think all this theory that I've learned over the years really helps me understand what's going to work, and there's a million arguments for that. You could all say, you can just say 2 words, Kurt Cobain. You could say that. I couldn't agree more. I'm a huge fan, but I wouldn't want to sit in a Western swing jam with him. And check out this pedal that Jed gave me a while back. This thing's awesome. Oh, come on, man. It's an old Gaiatone PS-023 chorus flanger doubler. Look at this thing. You've seen it. See it there next to the volume pedal? What a great sound. It's got a million sounds in it. You can get all kind of cool chorus effects and great pedal. Jed has good taste in pedals. So yeah, as you can tell by my video I put up last night, I've been going down the Clint Strong rabbit hole, you know, Western swing and shit like that. You know, I've always loved that shit, Jimmy Bryant. But I've never really tried to play it or anything like that. As you can tell by my video I put up last night, I'm just figuring it out. It's hard, you know. But I sometimes wish I would have taken some of the years I spent trying to develop the perfect rock tone and shit like that and just spent some of it on that, you know, because it would have been nice to be able to do all that shit. I mean, I can do it, but it doesn't sound legit to me. It will get there. I mean, I'll get it to a point where I know when it's right, you know. I mean, I got the feel. It's just knowing all those little tricks. There's a million little tricks in there that you got to know. It's like the real shit. It's like that with all music. You can fake it, but man, when you really know it and you really have lived it, it's like that thing I was talking about with Slash playing 500 gigs on the pedal steel. If you sat and played 500 Western swing gigs in terrible bars, you'd be a motherfucker. But until you do that, you're just a pretender. I mean, you only have time in life to perfect a couple of different styles, really, to live that sort of shit, you know. I think the style that I've worked on perfecting the most is sad, atmospheric, emotional, sort of heart-wrenching ambient music, wouldn't you say? I mean, that's what I do the best, I think. But I've worked hard on that shit. You know, if I would have took that time and tried to figure out a million Bob Wills tunes, I'd be bad at that too, you know. It's what you spend time on. That's what it is, man. It's what you spend your time on. And not just your time practicing, it's your time listening. And you got to really live that shit. Like, I was watching these videos. I saw this amazing video that I'm gonna put a link to. My dear old friend Red Volkaert, who I've known for years. I just saw him at a guitar show recently. Fucking love that guy. Always been a huge fan of his playing. Hilarious dude. One of the funniest people you'll ever meet. And I used to go over his house when I was a kid and just marvel at his amazing, ability to play and his knowledge about all that old swing shit. Back in those days, all I cared about was, Elliott Smith and shit like that. I always thought that shit was cool, you know. I remember one time we were sitting in his living room and he was sitting there with a guitar and just out of nowhere he goes, "You ever heard of a group called Yes?" And I thought that was so funny because, I grew up on that shit. I go, "Yeah, Red, I'm pretty familiar with that stuff." I remember that guy was a good guitar player. But anyway, there's a video on YouTube of Red in this band called the Western Flyers playing at looks like one of those out west, rich people conventions, those sort of Telluride type things where all the wealthy folks get together and party in style. It looks like, I'm not sure that's what it is, but that's what it looks like. And he's playing, like a 5-piece band. They start the show with Right or Wrong. And him and the other guitar player, Whit Smith, killing it, just killing it. I'd never heard of that guy, Whit Smith, before, but I'm a huge fan now. I've been watching some of his videos and stuff. Seems like a really cool guy. But man, he's probably not as, I don't know how do you say this. Maybe not as mind-numbingly in your face with the stuff as Red is, but he's got a very cool style and he's got a cool sound. He really gets it. He's got almost like a rockabilly vibe with it. That's very cool. I'll show you the video. I think you'll get a kick out of it. He's got beautiful fingers. To me, I swear to God, the way a guy's fingers look when they're playing is as important as what it sounds like. I can't stand watching guitar players with ugly fingers. Ugh. I hate it. I hate looking at weird looking fingers on a guitar. I don't care how good it sounds. Jesus. God. Ugh. But this dude's got beautiful hands, man. Beautiful. It means a lot to me. I don't know. Maybe I have a hand fetish. I don't know. Was that weird? Did that just get weird? I'm sorry. But there's some videos where he's talking about, inside ways to play moving inversions. We should watch some of his videos with Smith. They're really cool. He really knows, he gets that thing where if the song plays a G7 for 4 beats, in the mind of the simpleton, he's already played 8 chords in that 4-beat thing, 8 different versions of that one chord. That's how those old guys did, like fucking the old real jazz guys could comp a fucking different chord every beat, even though this really just staying on that one chord. That stuff, that's a lifestyle, man. You got to know that shit. There's no faking that. And then this song, Right or Wrong, is basically, it's an old swing tune, been around forever. But it's one of several songs, but it's a great example of a song that if you try to play it and you don't know it, it will make you look like a total asshole. It's designed to fuck you up as a soloist. It's in the key of G, but if you just try to play in G the whole time, it sounds terrible. I think that's why people love playing that song, because you have to know how to play over changes to play that. You cannot fake it. It is the ultimate litmus test of whether you know how to play over changes or not. And it's not that hard of a song. There's simple chords that we all know: E7, A7, D7, G, B7. But the way it's all laid out, it's designed to fuck up the soloist. And if you don't know it, you're going to look like an asshole. So here's the changes. I won't make a giant tutorial about right or wrong right now, but I'm just going to quickly show you. Here's the changes. I still have it on the looper. Okay, it's in key of G, but it starts on E7, right? So check it out. A7, D7 to the 1 chord, G, B3, flat 2, 2 major, to D, E, A, D, B, E, A, 1, 5, 1. And it starts over. It's a lot of chords going by, but it's not, what happens is it really kind of changes keys in my mind in the middle a bit of the progression. It's like an A section, a B section, and a reprise. And it's brilliant. It's a great melody. And I love how the melody, you can basically play the same notes over all these changes, hovering around the B, the C, the AUG, and it all kind of works. Check this out. I'll just do that real quick. Piece of songwriting, really. It's like, and if you try to work in all those melodies on top of the chords, you start out with an E9 raised 5, the AUG. A13, D6, D13, if you look at it that way. G6, 9, B flat minor, B flat diminished, or B minor, B flat diminished, A minor to the 5, and then it's like all of a sudden it's A major, which is weird, and then the 5, and now it goes up to E, the whole thing, and it's like a new phrase. 3 major, 6 of that key. It's an art form to all that shit. It's great. So check out Whit Smith's videos, man. He's very cool. And what else are we going on? I've been watching YouTube. I watched some YouTube last night. What else did I see? Oh, I saw that video that everybody's telling me to watch about that guy, Rob Chapman, who's got 1 million views. I don't know the guy or anything, but he's talking about how new guitars are better than old guitars. And he lost me when he said that his dream guitars are a set of 1975 Stratocaster, Telecaster, etc. Honey, 1975, you should dream bigger. Probably one of the worst years of production for any American guitar. Well, 79 would be the worst year. 78 and 79, the OPEC years of guitar building. The worst shit that all the companies ever made. 75, pretty bad. There's still a couple things you can get from 75 that aren't horrible. Like, what would be the best guitar from, electric guitar from 1975 would be, God, something you could, Gretsch sucked right then, Fender sucked, Gibson sucked, Martin sucked. And it was pre-BC Rich, Dean, and Hamer. So that was a dark era, man. It's 75, what could you get? Like a Gibson double neck maybe from 1975 that still has the wide nut would probably be livable, although it'd probably be 800 pounds. You do not want a 75 Strat or Telly. Trust me, you don't want that, Rob. You don't need that, Rob. He said he liked it because it's his birth year or whatever. I also, you know how I have a problem with naming guitars and calling guitars he and she and guitars and shit. The only material object that's allowed to be called a she is a boat, a vessel, in my mind. Don't be calling your guitars she's or your cars her. No, please, people. It's a pet peeve. And I also have a kind of a pet peeve when people try to get birth year guitars. I don't know why that bugs me. It always has, especially when they were born in 1975. Sweet Jesus. Dream bigger. What else? There was a couple other things. Oh, shit. Oh, I think we're up to like 3,000 people or so on the mailing list. A lot of people are asking me what this course is aimed at. And I would reckon if you're an absolute beginner, don't buy this course. I would say that. If you're an absolute beginner, it's going to go over your head. I'm just be brutally honest. But you don't have to be a bad motherfucker to get into this course, okay? If you're a beginner and you're wondering if that's D major or minor, don't buy this course. I'm just being brutally honest. It's aimed more towards people that can already play a bit. And it'll take a guy who's like an intermediate and make him a little better. That's what I would say. And it might even take a guy who's pretty advanced and go, wow, I never thought of that. But if you're an absolute beginner, you're going to be like this. Looking at it. That's what you're going to look like. And your wife's going to be like, honey, what's the matter? Oh, trying to watch this course. That's what the whole scene will be like. I already saw it. She's making dinner in the other room. I just pictured it in my mind. I sometimes picture whole scenarios like that. Do you do that? What else? You guys got to hear the last moments of this old tube Echoplex. Echoplexes are amazing. They sound incredible. But they're actually harder to keep, well, they're almost as hard to keep running as an old memory man. Man, you know, there's some shit, if you really want to see some shit There's this shit called Clint Strong guitar mastery video, lesson video. He's a wacky guy. I never met him, but one of the greatest of all time. I mean, there's a part in this video in the middle where he's got a little band behind him, and he goes off on this fucking solo. It's the baddest shit of all time. If you're into that kind of shit, if you think you can play over changes, when you see that shit, you'd be like, God damn, that is some heavy ass shit. That's what I aspire to. You know, I'm glad there's still so much to learn. You know, I would be bored with the instrument if you could top out at any point. But, you know, at age 56, I've been playing for 47 years, something like that, and I'm still learning shit every day. And it's like, that's what's cool about guitar. It never ends. And it's good when something doesn't, it feels weird to get to try to play something. It's good. But don't, if it hurts in here, don't do it. If it starts causing pain right there, stop doing it. Don't do that. That's how you fuck your hands up bad. But when you go to play a weird chord voicing and it feels weird, you're like, that's good. Because if you keep doing it, it'll get to the point where it's like playing a C chord. That's when you know you got it. When you could be 6 beers in and you could still play this. You know what I mean? Like you grab it like nothing, you know? That's when you know you got it. If you have to think too much and it hurts, then you still don't have it. Just keep working on it, right? Okay, that's it for today. I've tortured you enough. I'm sorry this video is so long. I don't know why I'm rambling today. See you, friends.